let's go ahead and cut to the chase and bring in the man of the hour. One of the most popular men in, I guess, Aggie Nation right now. Our head men's basketball coach, Coach Monte Ross. Coach Ross, how you doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, Ross, welcome.
Thank
Coach
you.
Ross,
Thank you. Thanks for
it's a
having
long,
me. I appreciate it. Hey, first of all, let me say
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So there was a lot of talk. Like when you
yeah.
come on this show, this is like the Breakfast Club. Like
Oh no.
being God, DJ Envy. When you come on here, if your stuff not right, if you start rapping and it's not right, it goes viral. So I'm ready. I mean, whatever y'all got, give it to me. I'm ready.
Look here, coach. Look here, coach. This is a long time
Nah,
coming, but we had to make sure you was the right man for the job before we brought you on here. Cause look, coach. We keep it real on inside the valley, right? We
Okay.
don't
All
sugarcoat,
right.
right?
All right.
The way things started was kind of rough, and we came out the gate was a little shaky. We
Hmm.
didn't know really what we had, but I think I can speak for my two co-hosts here. There was a moment in the season, maybe different moments for each of us, but for me, there was something I saw. I was like, you know what? I know we're not winning every game, but that's a well-coached basketball team. And whoever's putting this team together knows what they're doing. And that's what I was all in. Because I know basketball, I know what it looks like. And sometimes you don't have everything you need to be, win every game, but you can see the progress. So for you, coach, right now I guess the team is we're six, and what's our record right now? It ain't that great, but what is it?
All I know is that we're 4-4 in the CAA.
There you
right.
go. There you go. 6-15
Right.
overall, 440 in CAA. But
That's right.
we got a lot of momentum. For you, Coach Ross, when did you kind of say, you know what, I can see it coming to fruition? What was that aha moment for you?
Well, I think it was probably towards the end of the end of November, the beginning of December. We played a couple games where, like you said, we didn't get the result that we wanted in terms of the win, but the progress was evident.
Yeah.
And one of the things that having been through this before at the University of Delaware, when you're trying to build a program from the ground up, you have to look for little measures of success. And one of the things that we challenged our guys every day to do was, and I stole this from Inky Johnson, could we be committed to the process of what we were doing without being emotionally attached to the results? So after we played High Point, and that was one of those games where I started to see it clicking. I started to see it because High Point was a very, very talented team. And we had the lead in that game. We had a 6-point lead with probably about 8 minutes, 7 minutes to go in the game. And we just didn't finish the game. But that next practice we had, you would have thought that we were an undefeated team. The way our guys came out, they were flying around, they were talking, there was just a energy in the gym. And I stopped it and I told them guys, I said, look, man, I talk to you guys all the time about being committed to the process without being emotionally attached to results. You guys are showing it right now. And I said, bigger than basketball. This thing is bigger than basketball. If you can operate like that in life, where you're just committed to the process, whatever it is, whatever you're doing in business, in life, outside the basketball court, you're going to be successful. So that's when I sort of saw it turning. And I knew that if we were heading in the right direction. And if we just kept the faith with these guys, that we would be okay.
Coach, listen, you got to share the secret because I got two kids down the hallway and a wife, and none of them listen to me. Right? I got zero buy-in in my household. How did you get such buy-in that quick with these cast of newcomers? Right?
Well, it's I think all young people want direction. I think all people want to be uh, told how to be successful. They want to be shown how to be successful. Now, what you have to do as a leader is you have to practice what you're preaching. And that's how we try to run our program is every single day. I don't ask them to do anything in terms of working their tails off that I'm not going to do as a head coach and that my staff is not going to do as assistant coaches. So it's one of those, and it's a old tale that's always told that, and it's true that they don't care how much you know when they know how much you care. And I think
Oh,
what they saw was how much we truly loved them, how much we truly cared for them, how much we truly wanted the best for them, not just on the court, but we showed them off the court, in the classroom, socially, all those types of things. So I think they started to click like, yo, this thing is not just about basketball for these guys. This thing is about life. And that's what we were trying to show them. That's what we were living in front of them. We wanted to be examples. For me, I have to be an example to them of, you know, one day they're going to be a husband. So I have to be an example on how to be a husband. One day they're going to be a father. I have to be an example on how to be a father. One day they're going to, so that, and it goes down the line. So we always are trying to show them exactly that we're all in this thing together. And it's not just us telling you what to do. It's all of us in it together.
Right. Very nice. Coach, I appreciate that, man. And I heard you speak about the process. And, you know, we have a lot of folks in Aggie Nation that aren't really patient people. And I think that shows a lot on the Blue Death Valley website. But talk to us. Tell us about your hiring process. Tell us about your relationship with Athletic Director Earl Hilton and Chancellor Martin. And also tell us, you know, what are the things that drew you to A&T and made you even interested in taking the job here?
Well, I'll take that last one first. One of the things that made me interested in coming to A&T was, one, obviously I went to school at Winston-Salem State that was right down the road. And so was familiar with A&T, had been here for a couple of GHOs, had been here for a couple of Aggie Fests. So had some familiarity with A&T. So I was attracted to it one reason was that. The other reason was it being in the CAA. The CAA was a league that I cut my teeth in as a new head coach when I was at the University of Delaware. And we had to build that program at the University of Delaware from the ground up. And I always tell people, shoot, when we took over Delaware, it was subterranean. It was below ground level, and we had to build it up. So I was really looking forward to that challenge here at A&T. And then, you know, I took over in this era, this time, like HBCUs they're hot. They're hot. They're where a lot of people want to be. A lot of people want to send their young people to HBCUs. And now you talk about adding on A&T being the best HBCU in the country. Well, why not? Why not? I really thought that we could come down here and get the job done. Now, with that being said, if we're going to build it where it's sustainable year after year after year, we can't just have a flash in the pan quick fix. We have to do it the right way. We have to build it on a firm foundation so that we can be competing for championships year after year after year after year. And that takes time. It takes time to get it to that point. So I'm well aware of the naysayers. I'm well aware of the doomsayers. I'm well aware of that. But you know what? That comes along with the territory of being a head coach. Watch, we could be, 8-0 in the CAA right now. We could be 8-0 in the CAA, and there would be people who would be complaining, who would be upset, who would be so. It's 10% of the people that no matter what you do, you're not going to please them. It's 10% of the people that no matter what you do, you're going to please them. You could be the worst in the world and you're going to please them. And then it's 80% who are going to judge you on your merits. And, for me, it's all part of the job. I understand the passion that Aggie Nation has. And that's the other thing. When I started doing my research even before the interview process, started doing my research, and I have a few family members that I called who are Aggies. I was blown away by the passion of Aggie Nation. I mean, absolutely blown away. When you talk about most schools, it's men's basketball, football, and that's it. When you talk about A&T, it's football, men's basketball, women's basketball, softball, track and field, bowling.
Don't forget bowling. I was about to say, don't forget bowling.
Bowling. We got a young lady who just rolled she just rolled another perfect game. Like all that
Lauren
stuff.
T. Yes.
All that stuff is important to Aggie Nation. So I get it. I'll take all the hits that we're receiving right now because I know the passion that lies within the alums, the student body, all of those. That passion is what it drives me every single day to make this program the best it can possibly be. Now, you talked about my relationship with A.D. Hilton, um, Chancellor Martin. Until I got here, there was no relationship. But my first meeting, it was on Zoom with A.D. Hilton. When he speaks to you about certain things, his passion comes out as well. His knowledge for athletics comes out as well. And that drew me to him. And since I've been here, he's been such a supporter, such a sounding board for me, that it's been tremendous. And one of the things, and I'm not going to shy away from it, one of the things I told A.D. Hilton, and I'll say it to Aggie Nation, I'll say it to you guys right here. We came here to turn this program around and to win championships, to win the CAA, to go to the NCAA tournament. And that's what drives me every single day. That passion that Aggie Nation has to do that, it's been tremendous. And I love that type of pressure because I know, like, for instance, tomorrow night, it's going to be absolutely stupid.
Yeah, Coach, I'm glad you understand that. I was going to tell you.
And because watch, it was absolutely stupid when we were at Hampton. I mean, I was this close to my assistant and couldn't hear him. That's how loud it was. But that type of passion, man, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on that. So, the passion that Chancellor Martin has for athletics for the university, A.D. Hilton has for athletics for the university, I knew it was important for me to surround myself with a staff, with a group of men that would really, really understand what we were getting ourselves into and be willing to be vulnerable to, whatever it takes to get it done. Jeff Rafferty was somebody that was with me for 9 years at the University of Delaware. So he helped me build that program. So he knows exactly how to get it done, how I think, how I feel, and those types of things. And so grabbing him and getting him to come down here with me has been tremendous because, again, that familiarity that I have with him, he has with me. And then the other guys on my staff that I was able to get, Ricky Moore, who was a great player at UConn, won a national championship as a player, won the national championship as a coach at UConn. Just a wealth of basketball knowledge. Dorian Long is another guy from the Philadelphia area who has deep ties in the Philadelphia area in terms of recruiting. So that's going to help us. Ricky Moore is fantastic with North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida recruiting. And then we have a Colin Daly, who's I shouldn't just limit him to one title because he's our video coordinator. He's our de facto, anything you need to find on Twitter, internet, or whatever, he finds that for us. He's our director of basketball operations. He's our everything. So you know how there was a quarterback, Cordell. What was Cordell's last name that was on the Pittsburgh Steelers? And they called him Slash. Cordell Stewart. Yeah. And so that's what Colin Daly is. He's like Slash. He does any and everything that we ask him to do. And then we got another hire, Pat Herron. Pat is from Charlotte, and Pat's ties, he played and coached at North Met down in Charlotte. So his ties in the Charlotte, North Carolina area run deep. So I had to get a group of guys that we could understand the passion of A&T. Two, and probably most importantly, understand the need to get good players. Because watch, if you want to be a good coach in any sport, I don't care what it is. If you want to be a good player, you want to be a good coach, get good players. If you want to be a great coach, get great players. So these guys understand that, and that's what we're striving to do.
Well, Coach, I got to ask you real quick. So you've been you've been in the CAA for you were head coach of 10 years. You've been all around. You know the landscape. As far as facilities and resources and all that, how far away are we from being where we need to get to? And do you see like a definite process of us achieving?
Absolutely, positively. The conversations that we're having right now about the upgrades to the facilities are right in line with the other places that we're competing against, and that's very, very important. New weight room has been discussed. New lounge, new locker room. All those things are right in line with the teams that we're competing against. And now the biggest thing uh, that's come about here of late, NIL,
Yes, sir.
collective. Like
Yeah.
those are the things, those are the conversations that we're having now. And a couple of those conversations have been started not by me, but by alums that want to help and want to see us succeed in that space. It's a brand new space for A&T, but it's a space that they understand is needed in order for retention of your current players and also for the attraction of new players. So we are right online, and I know people will look and see where we are right now, but I would just ask them for patience for us as a team in the program, for us as an administration. It's going to take time to get to where we need to get to, but we are having those conversations actively, and we will get there sooner rather than later.
And see, me and Craig was just talking before the show about NIL, and we was like, man, we got this. We got one of the best backcourts in the conference. I hope the big guys don't come and poach these guys at the end of the season. So with NIL, like, how do you do? Is that almost a necessity now that you gotta like just find a way to keep your select few top guys, or because I mean, you see football is happening right now. And I guess the same thing with basketball. So like, how do you insulate yourself against that?
Well, I mean, you said it. Like our backcourt is, I'll put them up against anybody, especially in our conference. And they not only are they good players, Landon and Cam, they're tremendous, tremendous people, and they're a joy to coach. They're a joy to be around off the court. And that's what I talk to them about all the time is this thing, again, is bigger than just basketball. It's about us making you successful off the court. Like this thing is not just about the next 4 years. It's about the next 40 years. How can I help you be successful off the court? But like you said, in the immediate, it's about, we're going to have to do some things to ensure that, because here's my thing, and I'll just, if let's say, and they're going to come, it's just the reality of where we are right now in college athletics, good or indifferent. If they come to one of those guys and they say, hey, look, we're going to offer you X, all right? Hopefully we can say, even if we can't get to X, if we can get to a number that is, close or near, hopefully the coach.
It's like a sweetheart deal, right?
I'm sorry?
Sweetheart deal. Like they'll give us like a sweetheart deal, because we're already here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're already here. The coaching that they've been given, hopefully the development that they feel like they've been given will help them to make that decision instead of going someplace and having to start all over. Hopefully they will. And the other thing, the sad part about it is you have a few individuals that, some of us know about, some of us don't know about, that have left and don't play. Very good players here at A&T or at this level, but decided that the grass was greener someplace else. And now they're not playing. The bottom line is these young people, as much money as you can offer them, that's going to be fine for them for 2 months. But when they're not playing, when they're on that bench, like this, they're not professionals yet. They're not 35 and seeing their retirement age right around the corner where they say, okay, I'm just collect my money and I'm good to go. No, these guys are competitors. They want to play. So when you leave and the grass is not always greener and you're not playing, so sometimes taking that chance of not playing is a road that some young people don't want to go down because they love the game so much. And shoot, man, the opportunity that you have here at A&T, not only on the basketball court, but academically and socially, it's second to none.
And that's going to be evident tomorrow. Hey, guys, Doug, Craig, that's going to be evident tomorrow night. There's no better recruiting tool than what you're going to see inside Corporate Sports Center, 8 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Excuse me, 7 p.m.
Yeah, man, you're going to have people showing up at halftime.
Man, don't do that. I don't want to put it on me. Yeah. So you might get out 6:30 because I heard the lower levels already sold out. So all the reserves are sold out.
Yes.
And general admission is going fast. So it's February 1. We're going to be honoring I want to say, what number is this? This is the 64th anniversary of the sit-in movement at Woolworths, the A&T 4. Walked down the street and went downtown and made history. We're going to be honoring those gentlemen, those heroes. And also from a marketing standpoint, it's going to be Greek night. So, all the students are going to be excited about. They're going to be jumping around, dancing, and man, it's just going. And then Hampton, we always seem to play Hampton on big days. So we play Hampton in Virginia on MLK Day, right? And that was a crazy finish.
Yes,
so that was one of the wildest finishes I've seen in probably this whole year. They scored to take the lead in the last seconds, and you did something. This is what solidified to me how good of a coach you were. You didn't call timeout, right? You let your guard Cam go down the court. He put up that floater. I think it was like 1.2 seconds left for the game winner. But it shouldn't even got to that. It shouldn't even got to that, Coach. Because I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something that happened right before he scored. They had about 40 guys on the damn court, Coach. That should have been a technical foul, 2 shots and the ball.
Yeah, man. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, he had to navigate a whole lot in that moment, And that, one of the things, and I talked about it after the game. One of the things that we always practice those end of game situations. And if a team scores against us and it's 5 seconds or more on the clock, we're not calling timeout. Just go. And if it's less than 5 seconds, then we'll call timeout and we'll run one of our end of game specials to get the ball at a certain spot on the floor. But, my theory and philosophy in that situation is, so you want me to call timeout when Cam has the ball to give it back to Cam. I'm not going to do that. And that gives the defense time to set up for the other team. What we want to do is catch them exactly how we caught them, where they're celebrating a shot that they made, and now you can get it in quick before they get an opportunity to set up and, have a floater that goes in from Cam Shell.
Well, Coach, that was truly a tremendous play, very impressive. But what was most impressive, or just as impressive, was the inbounds play you drew up. I think maybe when you were down 2, just 2 possessions before, or down 2, you drew up a play for Cam. No, excuse me, you drew up a play, not for Cam. You drew up a play.
For Landon.
Yeah, and then you ran him off the Hidi Kuda screen, and Hidi Kuda hit him with the pocket pass, and he caught it right in step and hit a 3. So
yeah, what's funny? What's funny about that? So we drew up the play in the huddle, and as we're coming out of the huddle, Landon turns to me. He says, "Coach, do you want me to jump into the defender, or you want me to just go ahead straight and lay it in?" I'm like, "What? You're gonna be open for a 3? Just shoot the ball, man."
It was an awesome play design, man, and that's one of those moments that Samaj was talking about, where you can see the execution, right? The play call and also the execution. The kids knew exactly what to do, and to make that play call and to see it executed and take the lead. And then having the wherewithal again at the inbound play at the end of the game. Everybody knew what they were doing on the floor, and just evident that you guys had communicated that. And that's awesome. And we always say little things like that will win you a ball game or 2, throughout the season. Just being disciplined, and our discipline showed, and then Samaj highlighted where Hampton wasn't as disciplined in their moment of success. So we appreciate that, and keep up the good work, man. That's awesome.
I appreciate it, Doug. Thanks, man.
Hey, Craig. So what are you most excited about tomorrow? Because I know you're gonna be in attendance. You got your season tickets. So what are you looking forward to tomorrow in that showdown against Hampton?
Hampton. Last time Hampton was down here, it almost turned into a free for all. It's going to be a very
right.
It's extremely intense when you come into Corbett. Our fans. We're one of the few places where the fans are really directly on the court, just about.
Uh-huh.
They are on the court, and they don't let up. They don't let up. So, it's going to be a heated battle. We just need I just want everybody to, keep in mind that, it is a basketball game. Let's not turn it into a neighborhood brawl.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things, and I've heard some stories about that, some stories about Central. And, one of the things that we talk to our guys about is we're tough as nails. We're tough as nails. We're not going to back down from anybody. We don't take anything. But like you said, at the end of the day, we're playing basketball. We're not gangsters. We're not, fighters. We're basketball players, and we want to make a good impression of the name on the back of the uniform, but most importantly, that name on the front of the uniform. We don't want to embarrass it in any way. And I think our young people that we have do a great job of it, and I can't say enough about them.
And Coach, just a few more questions. I know you got to finish your game planning and preparing for tomorrow, because we all going to be in the building, looking forward to it. But let's go through your whole resume again. So you played your college ball at Winston-Salem State, and
yes.
we're not gonna hold that against you tonight. But but you're a proud Ram, and you play under the legendary Coach Clarence Big House Gaines, and also you had an infamous teammate, I guess you would say, one Stephen A. Smith. And he actually supported you earlier this year when we played Central. It was a whiteout. And this is what we call understanding an assignment, right? Because Mr. Stephen A. he didn't come and show up. He showed up and showed out. He was wearing white from head to toe and looking sharp in the process. Talk a little bit about your relationship with him and what was it like, being in the same locker room with him?
Well, the funny thing about that night was leading up to it, I told him, and he brought a bunch of my teammates down with him to the game. I said, look, and I told his assistant, I said, look, it's a whiteout, so you guys got to wear white, whatever. So he gets there, and none of the other people have on white, and he has on white. And he's like, yo, man, my white stuff was in LA. I had my person ship it to me personally to make sure I had on white. And now you tell me all these other people don't have on white. So he was giving me a hard time about that. But it's just the brotherhood that we have, his love, his support, my love for him, my support for him. And it's a group of us that we're in a big group text, and we just keep each other loose and keep each other honest. Like, I always laugh. I'll tell people sometimes on the show, you'll see him look down at his phone and he'll pick it up and he'll respond. A lot of times it's one of us getting on him about something he just said or something he should say or something like that. But he's a very loyal friend. He's very, very loyal to that, that tight inner circle that he has. He'll do anything for us, do anything, any favors that you ask him to do. And I always tell people say, well, how was he back in college? I said, shoot, man, when we were in college, it was 6 of us listening to him. Now it's 60 million people listening to him. And he's still yelling about the Knicks and New York and all that kind of stuff like he always has. I'll tell you a funny story about him. So we're in practice one day, and I'm on the point and he's on the wing. So at this point, he's probably about 0 for 8 from the field. So I come down and I pass it to him and he makes it. So now he's 1 for 9 from the field. So the next time down, he's like, yo, man, give it to me, man. I'm hot. I'm like, whoa, buddy, you go for 9. You're not hot. Well, he can really shoot. He can shoot the ball. And we used to have a great time in practice. And more importantly, we used to have a great time after practice in the caf, in the dormitories. Those are just, tremendous experiences. And really, for me, shoot, what is it? 31 years later, 30 some odd years later, there's still that tight-knit bond that we have. And that's what I try to tell my current players is these guys that you're in this gym with right now, you're going to have a bond with for life. And all of you are going to go off. We hope you're going to be wildly successful. And that bond is what's going to keep you humble. It's going to keep you grounded all the time. So we had some great times as teammates. We have great times now as friends and as brothers. And, it's just a special relationship that we have.
And it's funny you talk about those off the court connections and the relationship you have away from basketball, because if you look at this season, in my opinion, one of the turning points that happened for this program was not during a game, but it was actually on an off day when you had a special press conference. And you guys made a roster addition, a young gentleman from the area, 13-year-old guy.
Izzy.
So you recruiting early, but you brought in a gentleman by the name of Izzy Matthews, 13-year-old gentleman, and he has some health issues he's battling, but you brought him into the fold and changed his whole perspective and brightened up his face, and you could tell that it really resonated with him. And I think it resonated also with your players, that goodwill that you guys created. And from that point on, it seemed like, the team had a little more pep in their step. Tell me about that day, because I was there. That was a great press conference. Tell me about that day and this guy named Izzy.
Well, Izzy, like you said, is a young man that's had some challenges, and he's a big fan of A&T basketball and of our team. So for us to be able to invite him into the fold like that, really, to be honest with you guys, man, it did more for us and our team than it did for Izzy. Izzy is head over heels about Aggie athletics, period. But, it's important for our guys to know and our guys to understand they are role models. As much as Charles Barkley would like to say, you're a role model. And we want to show them that it's as important for us to be involved in the community, because we need every single person in that community to look at us and say they are a part of us. They're not just those guys that play basketball on the court that they can't touch. No, we want them to be able to know that they can touch, they can feel us, they can be a part of our world, for lack of a better term. And it's so important to us. Like, God has gifted us with a blessing that, and I always believe, like, if you take that blessing and you just go in the corner and hide and just hover it, well, that's not why God gave it to you. He gave it to you so you can be a blessing to others. And that's what we try to do with everything that we have, that we are fortunate to have, is how can we help others? How can we be servant leaders in the community? And that's what we try to do at every turn. So Izzy that's our guy. He's our he's a guy that, when he comes around, he makes us laugh, and he loves it. So it does our heart well to see how much it does for he and his family.
That's awesome. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Get that right, 7 p.m. Y'all better get there early if you want to get your seat ready and your popcorn.
Yeah, 6:30 may be too late. They better get there at 6.
And Doug, I think the pep band is back now. I think last couple of games the pep band's been there.
Pep band is back,
and it's gonna be Greek night. DJ's still gonna be doing his thing. Craig's gonna be in the crowd hyping it up, doing the Tootsie Roll, and
yeah, Craig,
getting everybody live. But so Doug, anything else you want to throw at Coach before you let him out of here?
Coach, man, I just want to say thank you, and I know my father from time to time travels with you guys, and I do my best to try to keep him in line, but he's all yours though. So
All right, so let me tell you a funny story about your dad. So he took us down to he picked us up in Alabama. All right, so we're playing in a tournament down there. We got 3 games. Now you know when he goes to a game, he's head to toe in A&T gear. All right. So during our first game down there, the referee comes over to me and he says, "Coach, you got a guy over there that if he doesn't stop yelling at me, I am going to throw him out of here and give y'all a tech." I'm like, "What guy are you talking about?" So he points over to your dad, Doug, and I say with a straight face, I say, "I don't know who that guy is. That guy's not with us." But hey,
That's
we were off the hook. He couldn't give us a tech or anything like that. But I think he did make Pops move up to the upper deck though, because he was sitting right on the floor and he was giving it to him. You know, he's passionate about that A&T sports.
Yeah, man. Well, I got it honest. So that's why I pick and choose when I come down there and I'm on the sideline. But yeah, you're right. He's very passionate. He's a supporter, but man, he's gonna have you back 100%.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I love him to death.
Definitely gonna keep you safe out there on that road. So
yeah,
when you guys have him, man. So yeah, but keep at it, man. Keep at it for sure. And one last thing I would like to ask you, Coach. You know, for prospective student athlete who's interested in probably joining your team at A&T or having a chance to come to A&T and compete, what type of advice would you give them, just in terms of their development and their progress and things they could work on to meet the mark and to have some of the qualities and the skill set that you were looking for in a type of player?
Well, the first thing I would say is tell them to make sure that they grow to be about 6'9".
Okay,
that's
I like
that.
Check. Right.
It's really and I tell everybody, like, basketball is about being able to dribble, pass, and shoot. Perfect those things. You know, we sometimes spend time in the gym and we're trying to do 360 dunks. We're trying to do all the tricky stuff and everything. But basketball comes down to the basic fundamentals of can you pass, can you dribble, can you shoot? If you can do those things, you're going to find a way on the court. Now, you know, there are certain levels to this thing, but we do, you know, we invite the student body to walk on tryouts. We have walk on tryouts. We had them this year in October. We'll have them again next year in October. So they're more than welcome to come out and try out. It's not easy. I'll be honest. It's not easy to make the team because we have a bunch of guys that we've looked at that, you know, that we scouted that we think are pretty good. But with that being said, there may be a Thomas Ice Griffiths somewhere out there, and we will not turn you down if you're like Ice.
Good stuff. Well, all my basketball aficionados speak highly of you, and they're gonna do the best they can to continue to support you, man. And we all are. And hopefully one day we can get to the point where all of our games look like tomorrow night. So that's our largest fans and
that's the goal. That's the goal for sure.
All right. Anything else, Craig? Any other questions you want to throw at the coach before we let him go?
No, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him a little bit later. I'm gonna get him back in front of our group, our Greensboro chapter, because I know folks want to talk to you directly.
Okay.
So I'll be getting in touch with you.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys tell me I'm off the hot seat. I'm out of the Breakfast Club.
Nope. I got 2 more questions for you. One is basketball. One is kind of stupid. But so the basketball question is: so 10 years you were at Delaware.
Yes.
And then you spent the last 3 years in Temple and as an assistant. When you were at Temple, you were thinking, you know what, this is great. You know, I got a great program, doing my thing, but I want to get back to being a head coach. Did you say, if I ever get me one more chance to be back as a head coach, I'm going to do one thing differently? Or do you feel like you already had a formula where you just need the opportunity?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I was there, I was with one of my best friends, Aaron McKee. He was the head coach, and I was his associate head coach. I wasn't even really thinking about being a head coach. I was just thinking about, and this is being honest, I was thinking about being the best assistant that I could possibly be for him and help him mold that program. But the answer to that question, if there was anything I could do different from when I was a head coach at University of Delaware, this is going to sound crazy, but I wanted to live closer to the university. My wife and I we love to have the team over for team meals and that sort of thing. And when I got the Delaware job, we lived in Pennsylvania. We lived in Media, Pennsylvania, it was 33 minutes. It took me 33 minutes to get to work. But the reason that we didn't move to Delaware was we were building a program, and I knew it was going to be tough for the first couple of years. And I had little kids, and I didn't want them to have to bear my cross by them going to school. And little kids can be cruel at times. Your daddy don't know what he's doing. He can't, and that would have hurt them and hurt their feelings. So we just stayed in Pennsylvania, and we built the program up to a championship level. Now, I want it to be close because my kids are grown, so they don't have to bear that. But I want it to live close proximity to the university, and we do. We live 12 minutes away from campus, so now the kids can come over. The team can come over. We can have team meals and do all those types of things. Man. Another chance for us to bond as a group, and that chemistry is very, very important if you're going to be a championship team.
All right. So it's a tough question before I let you out of here. You got to tell me, because I'm a hip hop guy. Who is the king of Philly? Because I don't know. Is it Beans? Is it do you like Gilly? AR-Ab, who has the crown of the king of Philly in your mind?
You know what? I think when I was a little younger, and this is probably when I was at St. Joe's, I would say it was Beans. Right now, don't forget about Meek Mill. Now,
okay,
hot. He had that championship song. He had the Eagles pumping that championship song. Dreams and Nightmares when they went on that Super Bowl run. So I'm a Meek Mill guy. I'm a Meek Mill guy myself. So I'm gonna say Meek.
So I'm a little older. You remember Cool C?
Yeah.
With the glamorous life. Woo, you got it.
You got it. The glamorous life.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. For sure.
That was some classic Philly hip hop for those guys.
Although he tried to turn into a slash boxer at a very inopportune moment, you can't forget Summertime with Will Smith. You know what I mean? That's like international. Hey, that's just like the start. That's the anthem to start the summer. You know what I mean? When they start playing that, it's summertime.
It is.
Hey, when you hear Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas," that's the start of Christmas.
That's right.
Summertime, that's the start of summer.
That's the start of summer for sure.
You got that.
You got to have it at every cookout.
My man. Okay, I got you. So you know your Philly hip hop. So you passed the test, coach. You passed the test, coach. All right, so look, it's been an honor, and thank you so much for taking your time on this busy week. We're gonna be there tomorrow, and we're gonna be back on Saturday because I got nothing to do on Saturday. It's gonna be another big game. We gotta get 2 in a row, get this winning streak started again. So thank you so much, Coach, for everything you're doing, and keep the thing going. We're gonna hopefully make a run at the end of the season, get to the conference championship, and anything happens when you get to a one elimination tournament.
Right.
So
that's right.
All right. So thank you so much,
guys.
Coach.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you guys.
Yes, sir.
All right now.
All right. It's Coach Ross.